The first time I realized Emily was sabotaging me, it was over a $4 cup of coffee. It sounds ridiculous, right? How could something so small lead to something that would eventually cost someone their entire career, their reputation, and nearly $120,000 in lost opportunities? But that's exactly how it started. I was 3 months into my new job at a marketing firm in downtown Chicago. It wasn't a huge company, but it was big enough that landing the position felt like winning the lottery. My starting salary was $68,000 a year, plus bonuses. For someone like me, who had spent years working paycheck to paycheck, it meant everything. And Emily knew it. Emily wasn't my boss. She wasn't even my supervisor. She was my co-worker. Same level. Same responsibilities. But she acted like she owned the place. She'd been there 5 years. She knew everyone. She laughed with management, went out for drinks with the director, and always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. The kind of person who smiled sweetly at your face but somehow made you feel small without saying anything directly. At first, she was nice to me. Too nice. She showed me where the break room was, helped me log into the systems, and even offered to buy me coffee my first week. "You're going to do great here," she told me with a warm smile. "Stick with me, and you'll learn everything." I believed her. That was my first mistake. The trouble started with the Henderson account. It was a big client, worth nearly $250,000 a year to the company. My manager assigned me a small part of the campaign. Nothing major, just data analysis and performance tracking. I worked late every night that week, sometimes until 9 p.m. No overtime pay, no extra bonuses, just me, my laptop, and the hope that someone would notice. Emily would always leave at exactly 5 p.m. "No point killing yourself," she'd say casually as she grabbed her purse. "They don't pay you extra." But I wasn't doing it for extra pay. I was doing it to prove myself. Friday morning, the team had their weekly performance meeting. Everyone sat around the conference table while the director reviewed the Henderson campaign results. He smiled. "These numbers are excellent," he said. "Who worked on this optimization?" Before I could even open my mouth, Emily spoke. "I did." Just like that. Calm, confident, certain. My stomach dropped. I stared at her, waiting for her to correct herself. She didn't. The director nodded, impressed. "Great work, Emily. This increased the client's ROI by 18%. That's huge." 18%. Those were my numbers. My hands started sweating. My heart pounded in my chest. Maybe she'd mention me. Maybe she'd say we worked together. She didn't. She just smiled. And everyone applauded her. I sat there in silence, frozen. I told myself maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe she'd talk to me afterward. Maybe she'd explain. But after the meeting, she walked past me like nothing happened. Like she hadn't just stolen something I worked all week for. That afternoon, I checked the project files. My name was gone. Replaced by hers. That's when I realized something that made my blood run cold. She didn't accidentally take credit. She planned it. And as I sat there staring at the screen, feeling powerless, embarrassed, and angry, Emily walked by my desk, took a sip of her coffee, leaned closer, and whispered something I'll never forget. "You should learn faster if you want to survive here." She smiled and walked away. That's when I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to complain. I was going to wait. Because at that moment, I didn't just want justice. I wanted revenge. But what I didn't know yet was that Emily was hiding something much bigger. Something worth thousands of dollars. And soon, I was going to find it. I didn't sleep much that night. Emily's words replayed in my head over and over. "You should learn faster if you want to survive here." It wasn't just what she said. It was how she said it. Calm, confident. Like she'd done this before. Like I wasn't the first person she'd stepped on to get ahead. The next morning, I got to the office early. Earlier than usual. 7:15 a.m. The office was quiet. Empty. Except for Emily. She was already there. That surprised me. Emily was never early. She was the kind of person who walked in exactly at 8:59 a.m. with a coffee in hand and no apology. But there she was, sitting at her desk, typing quickly. She didn't notice me at first. I slowed my steps, pretending to check my phone. Her screen caught my attention. She was inside the Henderson account. My Henderson account. My chest tightened. She moved quickly, opening folders, reviewing reports, and then she did something strange. She plugged in a small flash drive. Not a company-issued drive. A personal one. I frowned. Company policy was clear. No external storage devices. Especially not on client files. It was a security risk. She started copying files. One after another. Campaign reports. Financial summaries. Optimization strategies. My strategies. My heart started pounding. Why would she copy those? She suddenly looked up. Our eyes met. For just a second, her calm expression cracked. She hadn't expected anyone else to be there. But then, just as quickly, she recovered. She smiled. "Wow, you're early," she said casually, pulling the flash drive out. "Yeah," I replied, forcing a neutral tone. "Couldn't sleep." She leaned back in her chair. "That's good," she said. "Hard workers go far here." Her words sounded like praise. But her eyes said something else. Warning. She grabbed her coffee and stood up. "Well, I'm grabbing breakfast. See you in a bit." And just like that, she walked away. I stood there, frozen. My mind raced. Why was she copying those files? Client data was confidential. Extremely confidential. Losing it could cost the company hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe more. And Emily knew that. She'd been there 5 years. She knew every rule. Which meant, this wasn't a mistake. This was intentional. I sat at my desk and opened the Henderson project folder. I clicked through the files. Everything looked normal. Until I noticed something. The last modified by section. Emily's name was everywhere. Files I had created now showed her as the editor. My work. Rewritten. Reclaimed. Erased. I felt sick. It wasn't enough that she stole credit in meetings. She was rewriting history, making it look like I had never existed. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. Part of me wanted to march straight into HR. Expose her. Tell them everything. But another part of me stopped. Because I had no proof. Just suspicions. And Emily had something I didn't. Trust. She was the golden employee. The reliable one. The experienced one. I was just the new guy. If I accused her without evidence, it could backfire. Badly. I could lose my job. My $68,000 salary. My future. So I stayed quiet. And I watched. Over the next few days, I paid attention. I noticed patterns. Emily guarded her computer carefully. She locked her screen even if she stepped away for 30 seconds. She stopped leaving early. She stayed late. Sometimes later than me. And every now and then, she used that flash drive. Always when she thought no one was looking. But I was looking. And the more I watched her, the more I realized something terrifying. Emily wasn't just stealing credit. She was stealing something much bigger. Something valuable. Something worth real money. And then, one Thursday afternoon, I accidentally received an email that was never meant for me. An email that mentioned Emily, a competitor company, and a number that made my hands shake. $15,000. Paid. Directly to her. For consulting. That's when everything changed. Because now, I wasn't just suspicious. I had found the first piece of proof. And Emily had no idea. Her perfect image was about to crack. I stared at the email for at least 30 seconds before I even breathed. My hands hovered over the keyboard, frozen. The subject line read, "Consulting payment confirmation." It wasn't addressed to me. It was addressed to Emily. But somehow, it had landed in my inbox. Probably a typo. Maybe the sender selected the wrong contact from autofill. But that one mistake changed everything. The sender was a company called Brightwave Marketing. My stomach dropped. They were our competitor. Not just any competitor. Our biggest competitor. They had tried to steal the Henderson account last year and failed. And now, they were emailing Emily directly. I opened the message. My heart started pounding harder with every word. Hi Emily. As discussed, we've processed the $15,000 payment for your consulting assistance. The strategies you provided helped us secure 2 new clients this quarter. We appreciate your discretion. Looking forward to continued collaboration. My throat went dry. Consulting assistance. Discretion. Continued collaboration. This wasn't freelance work. This was betrayal. Emily was helping our competitor, and she was getting paid $15,000 for it. I quickly checked the timestamp. Sent at 10:42 a.m. Just minutes ago. She hadn't seen it yet. My eyes darted around the office. Emily wasn't at her desk. She was in a meeting room down the hall. I had maybe 5 minutes. 10 at most. My mind raced. I knew I shouldn't touch it. I knew I should pretend I never saw it. But another thought pushed its way forward. She didn't hesitate when she stole my work. She didn't hesitate when she erased my name. She didn't hesitate when she tried to make me invisible. Why should I hesitate now? My fingers moved before fear could stop them. I took a screenshot. Then another. I saved the email as a file. My heart was pounding so loudly I was sure someone could hear it. Every second felt dangerous. Every second felt like I was crossing a line. But I wasn't doing anything wrong. She was. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. I quickly minimized everything and opened a random spreadsheet. Emily returned to her desk. She sat down, calm as ever. She glanced at me briefly, smiled, then opened her email. I watched from the corner of my eye. Her expression changed. Just for a moment. A tiny flicker. Gone in less than a second. But I saw it. She knew. She immediately started typing. Probably damage control. Deleting evidence. Covering her tracks. But it was too late. I already had proof. And for the first time since she stole my work, I wasn't the powerless one anymore. I had leverage. The rest of the day passed slowly. Emily acted normal. Too normal. She laughed with co-workers. Chatted with the manager. Even helped someone fix a report. If I didn't know the truth, I would have believed she was innocent. That was the scariest part. She was good at this. Professional. Careful. Experienced. This wasn't her first time. Which meant one thing. She had more secrets. And secrets like that were dangerous. But I didn't act. Not yet. Because revenge isn't about reacting fast. It's about reacting right. That night, I sat in my apartment staring at the screenshots. $15,000. That wasn't a small side payment. That was serious money. Enough to risk everything. Enough to destroy her career if exposed. I could report her right now. Send it to HR. End it immediately. But something stopped me. Because simply exposing her wasn't enough. She had humiliated me. Erased me. Tried to make me feel small. I didn't just want her gone. I wanted the truth to come out in a way she couldn't escape. In a way everyone would see. In a way she would never see coming. And that's when an idea formed in my mind. A dangerous idea. Because the company was about to assign someone to lead their biggest project of the year. A project worth over $500,000. And I already knew exactly who they were going to choose. Emily. But what she didn't know was that her promotion was going to be the beginning of her downfall. The announcement came the following Monday morning. Everyone was called into the main conference room. Even people from other departments showed up. That only happened when something big was coming. I already knew what it was. The $500,000 Phoenix project. It was the largest client contract the company had signed all year. Whoever led that project wouldn't just earn recognition, they'd earn power. Bonuses, promotions, and job security for years. I sat quietly at the end of the table, pretending to be focused on my notebook. But inside, my heart was racing, because I knew Emily was about to win. Our director, Michael, stood at the front of the room, smiling. "This new project is critical to our company's future," he said. "We need someone experienced, someone reliable, someone who has consistently delivered results." He paused. People glanced around the room. Then he said it. "Emily will be leading the Phoenix project." Applause filled the room. Loud, enthusiastic, fake. Emily placed her hand over her chest, pretending to be surprised. "Oh wow, thank you," she said softly. But I could see the truth. She expected this. She had engineered this. Michael continued speaking. "This project comes with a $20,000 performance bonus if successful." $20,000. Just like that. On top of her $82,000 salary. On top of the $15,000 she'd already received from Brightwave. My jaw tightened. She wasn't just stealing credit anymore. She was building an empire on stolen work. And no one knew. Except me. After the meeting ended, everyone crowded around her desk. "Congratulations, Emily. You deserve it. You're going to crush it." She smiled. Thanked everyone. Played her role perfectly. Then her eyes met mine. Just for a second. And her smile faded slightly. She knew I wasn't celebrating. She walked over to my desk. "I hope you'll support me on this project," she said politely. Her tone was calm, professional. But underneath it, there was something else. A challenge. I forced a small smile. "Of course," I said. Because I already had a plan. And she had no idea. Over the next 2 weeks, Emily took full control of the Phoenix project. She scheduled meetings, created timelines, assigned tasks, including tasks to me. Ironically, she assigned me the most technical, complex parts of the campaign. Data modeling, performance forecasting, strategy optimization. The hardest work. The most important work. The work she didn't know how to do herself. And just like before, I did it. Perfectly. Not because I wanted her to succeed, but because I needed her to trust me. Because trust makes people careless. And careless people make mistakes. I stayed late every night. Sometimes until 10 p.m. Emily noticed. "I appreciate your dedication," she told me one evening. I nodded. But inside, I was waiting. Watching. Collecting. And then, one night, she made the mistake I had been hoping for. She left her laptop open, unlocked, and she walked away. Just for a moment. Just long enough. My heart started pounding. I stared at her empty chair. This was dangerous. If she came back and saw me, it could destroy everything. But opportunities like this don't come twice. I stood up slowly, walked to her desk. Her inbox was open. My hands trembled as I moved the mouse. There it was. An email thread. Between Emily and Brightwave Marketing. Dozens of messages. Dates going back months. Payments. Files. Client strategies. All of it. She hadn't just betrayed the company once. She'd been selling information for months. Maybe longer. My pulse roared in my ears. This was bigger than I thought. Much bigger. I quickly plugged in my phone and took photos of the screen. 1, 2, 3. As many as I could. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. I froze. Emily was coming back. I stepped away from the desk just as she returned. She sat down. Looked at me briefly. Smiled. She had no idea. No idea that everything she'd built was about to collapse. But I wasn't going to expose her yet. Not yet. Because the Phoenix project was about to reach its most important moment. The final presentation. In front of the CEO. In front of executives. In front of everyone who trusted her. And I knew something she didn't. Something that would turn her biggest victory into her worst nightmare. Part 5, last part. The day of the final presentation arrived faster than I expected. Friday, 9 a.m. The entire executive team was there. The CEO, the director, senior managers, even a few board members. This wasn't just another meeting. This was the meeting that would decide Emily's future. And she walked in like she already owned it. Confident, calm, perfect. She wore a navy blue blazer and carried herself like someone about to earn $20,000 in bonuses and a promotion that could push her salary well over $100,000 a year. And technically, she deserved it. At least, that's what everyone believed. I sat quietly in the back of the room, my laptop open, my heart steady. Not nervous. Not scared. Ready. Emily began the presentation smoothly. She explained the Phoenix project strategy, the projected revenue, the expected ROI. Every slide was flawless. Every word rehearsed. Every number. Mine. I recognized my data models, my forecasts, my projections. She delivered them like they were hers. The executives nodded, impressed. The CEO leaned forward. "This is outstanding work, Emily," he said. "This could increase client revenue by over $500,000. Emily smiled. "Thank you," she replied confidently. She was seconds away from winning everything. And that's when it happened. Michael, our director, spoke. "Before we finalize," he said, "IT wanted to review something quickly." Emily's smile flickered. Just slightly. The conference room door opened. Two people walked in. James from IT. And Karen from Human Resources. Emily looked confused. "So sorry to interrupt," Karen said calmly. "This won't take long." But I knew better. This would take everything. Karen connected her laptop to the projector. A new screen appeared. An email. Emily's email. Her face went pale instantly. The room fell silent. Karen spoke carefully. "This morning, we received information regarding unauthorized sharing of confidential company data." Another email appeared. Brightwave Marketing. Payment confirmation. $15,000. Emily's breathing changed. I could see it from across the room. Fast. Shallow. Panicked. Karen continued. "These emails show confidential client strategies being shared with an external competitor. From Emily's account." The CEO's expression hardened. Michael looked shocked. "No," Emily whispered. But the evidence was already on the screen. More emails appeared. Dates. Files. Payments. Months of betrayal. She looked around the room desperately, searching for support. For denial. For escape. There was none. "Do you have an explanation?" the CEO asked coldly. Emily opened her mouth. Closed it. Nothing came out. Because there was nothing she could say. She'd been caught. Finally, Karen spoke again. "Effective immediately, your employment is terminated." Just like that. 5 years. Gone. Her $82,000 salary. Gone. Her $20,000 bonus. Gone. Her reputation. Destroyed. She sat there, frozen. Then slowly, her eyes moved across the room and landed on me. For the first time, she didn't look confident. She looked afraid. She knew. She knew someone had exposed her. And deep down, she knew it was me. She stood up slowly, her hands shaking. She started. But Karen interrupted gently. "We'll escort you to collect your belongings." Emily didn't fight. Didn't argue. Didn't say another word. She just walked out. Defeated. Gone. The room remained silent. The CEO turned to Michael. "Find someone else to lead the Phoenix project." Michael nodded. His eyes moved around the room, then stopped on me. "You," he said. My heart skipped. "Your work on this project has been exceptional. You understand it better than anyone." He paused. "How would you feel about leading it?" This was the moment. The moment everything changed. I kept my voice calm. I'd be honored. 3 months later, The Phoenix project was a massive success. The client renewed their contract. Revenue increased. And I received the $20,000 bonus. Plus a promotion. My new salary. $95,000 a year. Emily, meanwhile, disappeared. No one heard from her again. No recommendations. No new job announcements. Nothing. Because in the end, she lost everything chasing money that was never truly hers. And I never had to yell. Never had to argue. Never had to fight. I just waited. Because sometimes, the sweetest revenge is watching someone destroy themselves.